let's talk about how to go about changing marketing math. Okay, so we're going to change math. Wouldn't that have been nice to be able to do in junior high school when you kept getting problems wrong in math? So marketing is math. Basically, it comes down to this whole equation, which is want more sales, build your list. In other words, get your message in front of more people, because here's what happens. X percentage of your list will buy. And the more you have, you can have that same percentage sell to a larger number of people. All right? But there is one factor that changes all that math, that allows you to be able to take, okay, here's a range. Instead of coming at the low end of the range, you can come in at the high end of that range or significantly above that range. So let me tell you what that range is. You usually are going to convert somewhere between 0.05% of your list to about 2% of your list. Now, here's what that means. If you have 10,000 people on your list and you do a launch, you're probably going to get in between 5 and 200 sales. Now, I got to tell you, that's a wide range. 5 versus 200. I'd rather have 200. And whichever end of that range you come on has a lot to do with the success or disappointment that you feel about your launch. So how do we get to the top end of that range? So what pushes your conversion to the top part of that range or even beyond? There is one most important thing. Notice this is in red because this is the most important thing that influences that range, whether you come in at the lower end or the higher end of that range. That thing is this: your relationship with your list. So let's talk about this, because this is the key thing. So many people look at their list as something that they build, and then they just let it sit there until they're ready to launch, and then they go launch. And they wonder why they got very little. Well, one of the main reasons is because you let it just sit there until you launched. You didn't actively work on building a relationship with your list during that time, from the time when they initially opted in and the time you launch and ongoing. So here's the thing. Let's talk about that relationship. I invite you to think strongly about, how am I doing in terms of building a relationship with those people on my list? So what does that relationship look like? A relationship that's going to deliver at the top end of that range. Number one, do they feel that you love them and care about them? So their feeling is the important thing. And do they feel like you love them and care about them individually, or just as one of a bunch of buyers? Wow. How do you create an individual relationship with a group of people who you have never physically met? You can't sit down and have dinner with them or something like that. How do you go about doing that? Another factor, do they feel they trust you? Do they feel they can rely upon you, so that if they were to pay you money, you would actually deliver the results that they are hoping to get? Do they respect you? Now, they don't have to be exactly like you. Not everyone wants to have white hair and be older like I am or whatever. And by the way, we have to do a little side journey here for just a moment. Remember, there are lots of ways that you can lose respect unintentionally. So respect can be lost in a lot of ways. So let me just bring up something. And some of you, when you hear this, you're going to just totally disagree with me. And I understand that. I'm giving you my opinion. And this opinion, you don't have to take it. I just invite you to think about it. Okay? So I believe that there's the vast majority of the people in this world actually lose respect with people when they do certain things. So things like swearing. So people will say, but all my friends swear all the time. I swear all the time. And it's like, well, that's okay. But you know what? There's a lot of people who get ticked off when people swear around them and do not respect a person who does that. What about dress and appearance? There's a reason why I'm always in a collared shirt. Okay? There's a reason for that. I could come looking, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with t-shirts. I do not look down on t-shirts, but some people do. And so I choose to wear a collared shirt so that I don't tick off and offend people who might be. A collared shirt will never tick off somebody who wears t-shirts, but it might a few others. Your attitude. Are you coming in with positivity? Are you coming in caring? Are you coming in with enthusiasm? Are you telling them like it is? Or are you trying to pull one over on them? And then what about all the things that are background for you? So yeah, I don't have a beautiful fireplace with, trinkets and things back there. I got a bookcase. I do have an orchid. Check out my orchid. And I do have a plant. Check out my plant. I purposely added those trying to improve the ambiance of my background. But if your background includes television running in the other room, dogs barking, and nothing wrong with dogs, but it's like all the little things that sometimes can cause people to go, I wish they didn't have that. Try to remove those so that you are not losing anybody's respect without intending to. So how in the world do you do all that? How do you get people to trust you? How do you get people to respect you? How do you get the people? So the opposite of what I just did, here's some things that can cause you to lose respect. How do you build that? How do you cause people to feel like you love them? Well, one way to do this, and remember, we're doing this at scale. You're doing this with 10,000 people who you're not sitting down and having dinner with. All right, so one way is great content that really gives them answers to their questions. I really hate the line that we've somehow picked up in this industry of tell them what to do, don't tell them how to do it. I'm sorry. I don't believe that generates respect. That feels manipulative to me. When somebody tells me what to do and doesn't tell me how to do it, it just ticks me off. I don't want to follow them. I don't want to do things. I don't believe we should be doing that. So great content regularly and frequently delivered. So you cannot just give it to them once a month. You got to be delivering it much more frequently so they develop a relationship not with you just, oh, I remember him. I heard about him once, or 5 years ago, I bought a product from him or whatever. And that content needs to actually answer the questions that they really have. And so the content needs to not just be, this is what I think you need to know. It also needs to be, tell me what I need to know. And so you need to have a system that figures out what they need to know and then that actively answers those things. Not being afraid of giving away too much. So many people are terrified. Oh, I'm going to give away too much. No one will buy anything. Well, if you are really afraid of that, you need to expand what it is that you're willing to talk about and able to talk about so that you don't give away too much and not constantly asking them to buy. How do you feel when every single time someone comes on, they're asking you to buy something, or when every time they come on, they're asking you to opt into something? That just creates a different kind of relationship, people. Now, I'm not saying don't make offers. Make offers, just don't have it be all offers all the time. Another key thing in this process is you got to be human. You got to talk about your own life, your own frustrations, the things that create a relationship. It's very rare that you actually have a relationship with someone where the entire relationship is just based upon business conversation around whatever it is that they sell. That's not a real relationship. So be human and humane and talk to them. Connect with them wherever you can. So that includes social media. So not just your email list, but social media, webinars, speak, YouTube channel, all kinds of things. Lots of different ways you can connect with them. And one of the best ways to connect with them is with video. So some people are amazing writers. Most people aren't. But the way we connect with other human beings in this world is eye to eye, face to face. And if they're in Paris and I'm in Wisconsin, I'm probably not going to connect with them eye to eye, but I can via video. Video is one of the most powerful tools you can use to create that relationship. Don't like doing video? Get over it. Okay. Also, don't be afraid to answer their questions in the comments. I work hard to try to answer every single comment posted by every single person. I think that just shows my respect for them and helps to develop those relationships. And then all this needs to continue all the way across all your social media and email. Now, you don't have to be active on every single social media platform, but the ones you are, you need to be active on. So I just gave you not a list of things to do, because it's not like a hard list of things to do. It's sort of a feeling of, as you look at the way you interact with your audience, your people, where you interact, how you interact, the real question comes down to this. What are you doing to actively build that relationship so that it's there? And isn't it that enough? So I can say, build a relationship so it's there. I can also say, build a relationship so it's there when you need them to buy something. But the important thing is not there when you need them to buy something. The important thing is, I serve you. You should be serving your audience. I'm not saying I'm doing an amazing job of it. There's so many things that I wish I had like 5 more hours a day that I could do better at. But ultimately, that's what it comes down to, is how do you serve them? How can you improve your service to them? I invite you to spend some time with a piece of paper, maybe a journal, and think, what am I doing to serve my people right now? And what can I do to serve them better, to build a better relationship? What's your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.